I've spent the last few years analyzing thousands of TikTok Shop videos, not casually watching them, but actually breaking them down, studying hooks, psychology hacks, and different conversion triggers. My agency, Social Sellers, has helped generate over 10 million in GMV for the brands that we manage on TikTok Shop. But here's the advantage. I don't just work with brands. I also train creators to help them actually sell on the platform. So today I'm breaking down 3 TikTok Shop videos that absolutely crushed, and I'm gonna show you exactly why they worked. So this first video is actually from one of our clients and it did incredibly well. Trust me, I know the exact numbers behind it and it got picked up aggressively by GMV Max. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Hip thrust, single leg hip thrust, Romanian deadlift, single leg Romanian deadlift, sissy squats.
Okay, so the first thing that I want to highlight, it's incredibly dynamic. So right off the gate, she's not introducing the product, she just gets into the functionality of the product. The second thing I want you to look out for is the actual text on screen. It says, watch me do 16 different workouts on one home gym equipment. Obviously, this is kind of previewing what the product actually does, but even this slight change, I think, made a big difference. And that's the size difference on the 16 and the color difference from the rest of the font as well.
Split squats, Bulgarian split squats, back extension. Now you have a cable machine to do kickbacks.
The next thing that I want to highlight is every single exercise that she's doing, it's a different scene or it's a different frame, right? So you have all these very quick jump cuts and every single time it's visually engaging. It changes the actual positioning of the camera so that the person is actually engaged as well.
Hip abductions. Now you're gonna do full body and do decline sit-ups with overhead press, close grip push-ups, wide grip push-ups, mountain climbers, reverse plank marchers to really work on that core. It's foldable, has wheels, and takes up barely any space. Comes with a light and heavy hip thrust band. Right now it's actually gonna flash. Grab it before it goes back in the orange card below.
Okay, so I think one of the huge keys here as well is that she doesn't only showcase different exercises that she's able to pull off, but towards the end of the video, she's just adding that little extra sprinkle of salesmanship and showing what actually comes in the box, in this case, these elastic bands, and also how it fits into her lifestyle, being able to just pack it up and put it away so it's not in the middle of her bedroom every single day. That's massive as well. Just highlighting simple CTAs at the end. Hey, click the orange card down below, great. But I think the main reason why this video has been doing so well specifically is because it's just so dynamic. I'm a huge fan of voiceover videos because think about it this way. You have 2 main things to focus on, right? You have the actual visual and whatever someone is saying. And when you're just doing show and tell, like I'm talking to you right now, it's only like one layer of the content. Whenever you do B-roll and then voiceover, you have 2 different layers. So it's a lot more dynamic. In this case, you have 3 layers because you also have the text on screen. You see what I'm getting at? Whenever you have the opportunity to play around with B-roll and voiceover, definitely do so. I think it's a huge advantage. Okay, so next we have a video that's just been absolutely crushing. Let's check it out.
You see these flakes? This is going in your family's food. These are micro...
Okay, so real quick, you see these flakes? This is going into your family's food. This video, a lot of people might not understand this advertising framework, but in advertising, there's different formulas behind content. This specific video, it's amazing because it follows the PAS, the PAS framework, which essentially stands for problem, agitation, and solution. Throughout the video, I'm gonna show you how he's actually incorporating this framework. So obviously the first part is the problem. Like this is going into your family's food, that's a problem. And even if we go back to you're eating plastic, text on screen, that's a problem that you're not aware of. If you layer in the added element of the pattern interrupt of him just like chopping on the board, it's visually different and audibly different to probably the previous video that the person was seeing.
Plastics. Seriously, what are we doing to ourselves? It's 2027 now. We know how bad these microplastics are for us. Here's a great alternative I found on the TikTok Shop.
Okay, so it's 2027 now. We know how bad it is. That's agitation right there. He's highlighting the problem that you might or may not already know exists, right? Also, by saying 2027, it's kind of like this no shit bro kind of like vibe to it that just showcases like, hey guys, we're a pretty advanced society. We probably shouldn't be eating plastic. And then finally, once he has the P and the A down, he introduces the solution, which in this case is the actual product that he's trying to sell.
This is a stainless steel cutting board set. They're food grade, ultra thin for storage, and they're not gonna leach any of these harmful microplastics into your body. And unlike wood cutting boards that can harbor mold and bacteria, these are non-porous, so you don't have to worry about that. Plus, they're super easy to clean. You've probably thought about throwing away your plastic cutting board.
Okay, so that entire solution section of the video, he essentially was just showcasing, hey, these are all the benefits behind the product. I think this creator is at the top of the game right now because it's funny, he actually reminds me a lot of like old school infomercials. One of the things I always suggest people to do is go back and watch like the ShamWow guy or the OxiClean guy and see what their pacing is, how they communicate the product, what are the visual sort of like cues on screen, what are they actually highlighting while they're saying different features about the product, and then readapt that to TikTok. I think another thing that's not oftentimes spoken about is the setting of this video. The lighting's on point, the camera's not shaking around, it's playing into what TikTok deems as high quality content, and on top of that, he's in the kitchen. It fits, right? If he was doing this in his car, you're kind of like, But even then, if he was doing it in the car, it could be an element of controversy or rage baiting, and that's a whole different story. But in this case, the setting fits, the lighting's on point, the audio's amazing, and on top of that, the camera's not moving, which is just bonus points.
These are 43% off right now. They're a great deal, high quality, but there's not a lot left. If you want to pick some up, just tap that shopping cart on your screen.
And finally, the CTA. They're high quality, but there's not a lot left. If you want, tap the orange card on the screen. Great solid CTA. Notice that he's not mentioning pricing. This is a huge one. A lot of creators fall into the trap of mentioning the actual price or a discount. The thing is, the beauty behind this video and why it's going to continue to do well for the next 6 months, it's because it's evergreen. He's not highlighting a discount. This is why I'm so against bottom of funnel as well. Bottom of funnel is just sale, 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 sale. I can do a whole half-hour video as to why I hate it. But this specifically, this is going to get picked up by GMV Max because there's no timeline to it. You can literally show this for all of 2027. The only thing that like makes it un-evergreen is him mentioning 2027 in the video. That's it. Everything else, you can show this to someone within 5 years and it's still relevant. That's actually a huge asset as well. Great video, absolutely love it. This dude's at the top of the game. Definitely check out his profile if you want to actually be able to replicate high converting content. All right, let's move on to the next one.
What the fuck? I did not know my lips were that crusty.
All right, let's start with the hook. So the hook, it's amazing. Why? Because it's incredibly dynamic. It has a lot of different sort of like things that you can focus on. Number one, what he's saying. What the right? That's frowned upon, I guess, for certain demographics on TikTok, but that's fine. It's engaging. It kind of like makes you think, what the hell is actually going on? Now, also, the lighting, super important here. His lighting is absolutely perfect. He's showcasing the actual result of using the product. Super, super important there as well. There's an element of a wow factor to it, right? So if we look right here, obviously he's using nail clippers to peel this off. That's engaging. It's like, why would you ever have nail clippers near your mouth? That's kind of disgusting. That's an added prop element. That's huge. And then on top of that, he has a little image on top that says, if this is you. He's trying to call someone out here, right? There's an element of relatability there, showing incredibly chapped lips. That's massive in order to retain people's attention. So just based off of everything that we just mentioned here, we have all these different elements. Number one, the if this is you statement, right? You have that on screen, and then you also have the text highlighting that. That's number one. Then it's kind of like the wow factor of the WTF, and he's actually pulling it off of his own lips. So you have those three different things to focus on, the verbal and two visual aspects.
Look at all that dead skin. My Korean friend put me onto this because they literally have perfect lips.
Okay, my Korean friend put me onto this. This is actually a lot more impactful than people realize. Right now, Korean skincare is at the top of the game. I'm talking like, whenever someone says Korean skincare, that's the equivalent of saying like Italian made when it comes to clothing, right? There's a very positive association between Koreans and what they can do in terms of skincare. That is what I like to call authority anchoring. Whenever you personally aren't an authority in a space, but you're using someone else's reference in order to borrow their authority, that gives you more credibility.
So let's see. This is a Korean lip mask that actually peels off all that dead skin. You just leave it on for 10 minutes. And once I peel it off, y'all will see why this has gotten so freaking viral.
And now he's getting into the functionality of it, right? He's actually showing himself putting the actual chapstick or whatever it is on his lips. He has it on his lips. He looks a little bit goofy. I'm sure there's some comments there just highlighting that as well. And he's going through a process of showing and telling. It's almost like when you were in elementary school, I'm sure you probably had show and tell. This is the adult TikTok shop version of it.
But as you can see the second time, there's pretty much no dead skin on there because it all got it off the first time. But look at my lips.
Okay, he does it a second time and he highlights, hey, it got it all off because the first time it probably did wonders for me, right? Again, going back to it, the framing of the video, he's so up close. The lighting is very impactful as well. You know what you're focusing on. There's very little distraction going on in the background. Those are all different factors that contribute to what TikTok deems as high quality content.
That's why it's been sold out for weeks. Look how soft and juicy they are. That is insane. But now I'm fucking pissed because I paid $40 for this when of course it's on sale now for less than $20. If they're not completely sold out yet, I'll leave.
Okay, so right now he's going into the CTA. I don't necessarily love highlighting prices because it can lead to violations. So I will say that that's probably not the best thing to do. But I want you to pay attention here because he's using what I like to call a 1-2 punch CTA, where essentially it's almost like in boxing, you have a jab and then you go in for a hook, right? So the jab in this sense is the price anchoring, right? He's introducing the idea of a sale.
You a link somewhere down below. So if you're one of the lucky people that still sees that link, go fast before they sell out again.
So if it hasn't sold out yet, and if you're one of the lucky people, that's the hook. That's where he's trying to finish the sale. That's why 1-2 punch CTAs are so impactful as well. Absolutely great video. I love every aspect of it. The only thing that I would potentially change is the price reference, because again, that can lead to different violations. So if there's just something like, oh, I've never seen it at this price, that would have been something that I personally would have adjusted in this video. But aside from that, 10 out of 10. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to learn how you can become a TikTok Shop affiliate, then go ahead and check out the link in the description.